Hey there, Chris Wheatley here from Hot Tub University, and today, by request, we're talking about filtration systems. Now, filtration systems is a funny conversation. It's one of these things that throughout the history of hot tubs has always been more about spin and marketing than reality. So let's look at filtration systems, the different types that different hot tub companies are using, and really the pros and cons of each. So a bit of history here. Back in the day, we had filter wars. So I remember in the 80s, everybody was doubling and tripling the size of the filtration systems, and it was really more about marketing than it was anything else. You'd go to a one dealer and he'd have a 25 square foot filter, and you'd go to the next and he'd go, "Yeah, we got twice as much filtration. Our hot tub's twice as clean." And really, what this was doing is it was hitting on a touchy subject for us because, man, as humans, we're like, especially nowadays, we're all about clean. It's got to be clean. So if I got more filtration, I've got a cleaner tub. Well, man, that sold tubs. And it got stupid. It got to the point where, guys were putting 5 filters in a hot tub. And the pitch was, oh, it's going to clean the water 5 times better. Now, most guys went away from this, and most guys went back to a single 50 square foot filter. And the reality is, guys, a lot of filtration doesn't make any difference. We got to understand something about what filtration really is. Filtration is not how safe and clean your water is from a bacterial or for a virus standpoint. It simply removes debris out of your hot tub. Okay, they filter down to a fairly large size. They don't filter down to half micron or anything like that. So we're not catching, viruses or anything like that. We're simply catching debris in your hot tub. Now, I don't mean to be funny, but you look at the cheapest, shittiest hot tub on the marketplace right now, and you can put people through that hot tub and come look at it the next day, and it's going to be clean as far as debris in the water. All filtration systems on all hot tubs effectively move debris from the water, and that's all they do. They don't affect water chemistry. They don't kill bacteria and algae unless they've got an additive in the filter, like a zinc ion or an ion filtration system or something along those lines. All they do is remove debris. But yet we still hear these debates about filtration. So understanding filtration systems, we've got 2 basic types. We've got pressure side filtration, and we've got suction side filtration. Now, the guys that are doing pressure filtration, really it's old tech. Back in the day, everybody did pressure filter housings. And what a pressure filter housing was simply a housing that was removed, usually up on the side of the tub or underneath the tub, and it had a pressurized cap on it. And you'd open the cap, take your filter out, and put a new filter in and close the cap on it. But it sounded great. The consumer loves the idea of pressure filter. We filter under pressure. That's got to be better. I mean, geez, pressure filtration, pressurized. It just sounds better than suction side filtration or regular filtration. So you got to understand something about pumps real quick here. On a pump, when water gets sucked into the side of the pump, in the front of the pump, that is the suction side of the pump. Where the water comes out of the pump is the pressure side of the pump. So here we've got suction, here we've got pressure. Well, if you talk to a science guy, there's no such thing as suction. Suction is just negative pressure. They're the same thing. If we're filtering water on the suction side, the same amount of water is going through the filter as is going through on the pressure side at the same rate. There is no difference. The only difference is when we filter on the suction side, we can filter the water prior to it going through the equipment. And this is a big plus, and this is why 90-odd% of the industry has moved away from pressure side filtration. And now, guys that are doing pressure side filtration are mainly doing it for the buzzword. They're doing it so that they can spin it into an issue. Because if you have a bunch of people doing suction side filtration, and you're the one guy that's doing pressure side, or one of a very small group of people doing pressure side, if you can convince customers that pressure side filtration is a superior filter system, you're going to sell hot tubs because, the other guys are doing suction side. You've convinced them that pressure side is going to be cleaner and clean's a big deal for us. So that's going to sell you hot tubs. It's called a unique selling point. And that's really the only reason people are fighting about filtration. They're not fighting about filtration because there's one that's better than the other. They're fighting about it because it gives them a unique selling point. So the next one we've got is guys like Hot Springs, who put like 5 filters onto it. And what they say, oh, we have non-bypass filtration. It's 100% filtration. So on a normal filter system, what we're doing is we're sucking a little bit of water through a suction, and we're sucking a little bit through a filter. And then all that water's getting, mixed back into the hot tub. And then, we keep doing that. And eventually we're passing the water through the filter and through the filter and through the filter. And it really doesn't matter if some of that water is going past the filter. All that water eventually gets filtered and we have a clean tub. Somebody gets into that tub, a little bit of debris comes off their body, skin, things like that. very short period of time with modern filtration rates, all that debris is out of the tub. Now, guys with non-bypass filtration are fooling you a little bit. What they're saying that we have 100% filtration. Every drop of water goes through that filter and it filters it all perfectly. Right, what they're not telling you is that really it's the same, because the water's going through that filter and then mixing back in the hot tub with debris in it again. And then again, it's going through again and again and again and eventually filtering all the water. Zero difference, guys. Almost no difference at all. Certainly no appreciable difference, and no difference in really the quality of the water, because again, given a very short period of time while you're in the tub, I don't care what kind of filtration you've got, there's going to be, debris off your body floating around in that tub, and it's going to get filtered very quickly. Now, by the time you come to use that tub again, a few hours later or half a day later, there's nothing, because that tub's clean no matter what type of filtration they have. The only way to truly have 100% filtration, or what they call non-bypass or 100% filtration, would be to filter all that water out of the hot tub into another container till the hot tub was empty, then pump that water back into the hot tub. And nobody does that, right? It's ridiculous. You can't do that. So really, the filtration argument, it's bullshit. All of it. It's funny. I walked into a hot springs store 2 days ago to look at a hot springs hot tub. I hadn't seen one in a few years. I wanted to see if they're actually doing anything better than they've been doing for years and years. And no, it seems like, the same thing they're doing is what they've always done, producing great marketing and great branding in a mid-grade tub. But one of the big pitches this guy hit me with was how dirty the other tub was. Man, when you're sitting in there, you're sitting in everybody's filth. With our filtration system, because we got 5 filters, that water coming in perfect, clean. And it was scaremongering. These guys are triggering you. They think you're stupid. And what they're doing is they're trying to fool you by making you think that all the other tubs are going to be dirty and you're going to be bathing in your own swill. And I kind of said to the guy, I said, well, dude, you're pulling a little bit of water out of that, and it's going in the filter, and then it's mixing back in with that water. I mean, we still have a long time before all that, especially with that little dicky pump you're using. We're only filtering so many gallons a minute on a high-speed filtration system, and we're actually going to be filtering more water for a minute. So even though the filter's smaller, it's going to be, turning the water over more quickly. And he kind of went, oh, because, most guys selling these marketing brands, these heavily marketed brands, are just singing off the pitch sheet. They don't really understand the fundamentals of what they're talking about. So when we talk about filtration, guys, for the most part, ignore it. I do prefer suction side filtration over pressure side filtration. And there's only one reason. It's because it filters the water prior to the dirty water and the bits and the shit going through your equipment. That just makes your equipment last longer. So if you take apart an equipment pack on a pressure side filtration, you're going to find a lot more hair and debris and shit on the heater core and in the pump and stuff like that, which is not doing good things for efficiency, and it's not doing good things for longevity of those parts. So suction side filtration definitely is a superior system on that aspect, only because it's going to protect your equipment a little bit better. On any other aspects, ignore it. It is simply 99.9% spin marketing and bullshit. The quality of your water has way more to do with the water chemistry. Okay, so that means, what we're using to purify the water, to kill bacteria and to kill, viruses and things like that. So the actual filtration of the water, don't concern yourself with it. Again, a 25 or a 50 square foot filter is more than adequate. That's 50 square feet of filtration material. That's 5 feet by 10 feet. That's a huge piece of filter. So we're pulling tons of water out of there. And really, when it comes to this, really the flow rate through the filter is more important. So these guys using 5 filters and a little shitty, cheap circ pump, that's barely pushing any water at all. Although they'll claim that because they got 5 filters, it's filtering way more water. Truth is, man, a guy using a high flow filtration system with a little filter is actually turning the water over much, much, much quicker, and is actually cleaning that water a lot more effectively. So the filter scam, forget it, ignore it. 99.9% bullshit. If you're going to go on one side or the other, the suction side filtration is definitely a better system. Now, by the way, the pressure filter pitch, they'll use this pitch that the filters are out of reach, so somehow that's a better thing. Well, I don't know. I'm not licking my filters. Filters even on a suction side system are usually removed enough that you'd have to work pretty hard to actually get your hand in there to touch them. And even if you did, again, they only collect debris, so it's really not like they're Typhoid Mary. The other thing they'll say is when you remove filters on a suction side system, the debris falls back into the tub. You're putting all that shit right back in your tub. And again, what are they doing? They're making you feel dirty. They're going, oh yuck, you're gonna die because this stuff will let your filter into your tub. What they don't mention is if you open a pressure side filtration system and remove the filter, well, guess what? As you're removing the filter, the same amount of debris falls off that filter into the canister, and when you put the new filter back in, turn it on, loads of that is in that center column and blows right back into the tub anyway. So there is no difference, and it doesn't matter because, again, with modern filtration systems, especially if you stay away from shitty circulation pumps, that water's going to turn over very, very quickly, and very quickly all that debris is going to be back into the filter again. So most people don't clean the filter right before they get in the hot tub. They clean the filter just after they've got out of the hot tub, and then it filters for half a day or whatever until they use the hot tub again. And again, I don't recommend changing your filter right before you get in a hot tub on any system. So there's the pros and the cons, and there's the buzz and the truth. Pressure side, suction side, 100% filtration, 500 square feet versus 50 square feet. You don't care. This should not be a critical factor in your buying decision. Cyclonic filtration, great name. Does it make any difference? No, very little. Again, the amount of the amount of water going through the filter is the prime thing of how much water is getting filtered. And it doesn't matter if it's pressure side or suction side. So that's my 2 cents on filtration systems. Chris Wheatley, Hot Tub University. Have a great day.